Alright, so working on this tractor, I committed the immortal sin of mechanical things of bumping the distributor out of time when I went to reassemble this thing. And so the problem is, of course, now it doesn't want to actually run. It'll just belch flames and backfire constantly. So I did some research on this. I thought that when I stuck this back together, I might have put the distributor drive gear in a tooth or two off. I found out it doesn't really matter. A lot of people on the internet say these don't even have timing marks on them because it doesn't matter where this gear is because we can just rotate this like 360 degrees. So, yeah, I guess I'm just gonna try that. Now, one thing I did learn is we are supposed to attempt to fire this at full throttle because, evidently, because reasons, that's the way that these engines are supposed to be set timing-wise. I actually do have a timing light, but it's kind of a pain to use it on this because there's a plate like underneath the bottom of the tractor we have to take off and then look up at the flywheel. At least that's my interpretation of what I read. So instead of using the proper tool for the job, I am going to attempt to get this thing timed somewhat close to properly using nothing other than rage and profanity. So let's see what happens. So what that means is I'm standing in this nice puddle of water for the highest possible chance they'll be electrocuted. And then I won't have to get it timed properly. Always double check and find that it is in fact in neutral. It's the kind of thing, you know, you really only have to be wrong about once. Gauge the choke, maximum throttle. So evidently there's something called a distributor advance. I have no idea what that does, but evidently it advances the distributor in some way, shape, or form. And that's the reason why we're trying this at full throttle, so that way the advance is fully advanced, which makes this work better because of reasons. I'm not a mechanic if you can't tell. Alright, so the good news is it is running. This is excellent. I think in all my taking stuff apart, I kind of got one of the spark plug wires off. That was probably most of the issue that we had. But other than that, like I said, just rage and profanity and turning this thing and messing with it until it runs. And we're looking pretty good. Another thing I really like, check it out, this thing is on its way up to operating temperature. That is the only signs of life out of a cooling system, you know, rising temperature wise. This thing is displayed the entire time that I've owned it. We also don't seem to be losing any water out of these. New hoses, some, like when I'd rev up the tractor, it loses some water out that broken overflow tube, which then goes all over this, but that evaporates pretty quickly. And we're still doing pretty well. You know, you can see we got the DIY pulley in there. That seems to be working fine. And tractor's building oil pressure. Everything seems pretty good overall. But I think we do have some issues. I don't know if I'm starting to think I got one of these linkages wrong when I put this thing back together. And just all the play and slop in these probably also isn't really helping us any. So I don't really have much time I can work on this today. I think the next thing I'm gonna do is check over these linkages and probably replace these spark plug wires and maybe some stuff on this distributor, because obviously it still isn't running quite right. It's got a pretty bad misfire. And I'm starting to think, you know, for some reason I didn't change these last time. And of course, you know, anytime you pass up something like that, you pretty much always regret it. So what I'm thinking is maybe when I was jostling these around, like the wire inside it, you know, which is already kind of old and frail, you can see these aren't new. I think maybe one of the wires inside this thing broke, or it's got a bad connection now or something, and that's explaining most of our misfire. But this is progress. I mean, it is running. It'll hold its own running-wise. It'll keep running. It's not running especially well. Of course, that is the downside, but the alternator seems to be charging. It's getting up the temperature. Overall, pretty happy. Oh yeah, the other thing I've noticed is when this was sitting here, we'll turn this off while we're at it. Oh no, that's pretty much full of fuel. All right, that's a problem that fixed itself. The fuel level in this went down, and I thought maybe we had an air bubble in there. Like, obviously I know it's a gasoline engine, so we shouldn't have to worry about that too much, but if there's an air bubble in here making this thing starve for fuel, I thought maybe that's what was causing the misfire. But yeah, wow, progress, cool. I guess I'll try to charge up this battery a little bit, even though it's not that big a deal now because the alternator's working, and it will run. So, you know what? I've learned, man, it's raining out here. You guys can probably hear that. So the humidity is causing this camera to fog up. I'm sorry about that. You know, sometimes on projects like this, progress is slow, but what matters is that progress is still being made. It's okay if you have a goal, you know, in life, or, you know, in this case on this project that you're working towards and progress is slow, you know, and it's slow going as long as you keep moving. Get out of here, fly. And that's kind of where I'm at with this, but I mean, yeah, I did a little research last night, messed with it. Seems like we're up and running. So next time, we'll see if we can get this running like, you know, at least as well as the average piece of old farm equipment runs, and then maybe we can get it running really well. That'd be kind of cool. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more. Projects like this take forever, but it is still enjoyable to work on this thing. So thanks for watching. Have a nice night.